Good afternoon. Hi. Welcome to the opening performance of Felipillo by Tyler Rocio Ecoña at the Bryn School of Theater Arts. My name is Erlina Ortiz. I had the incredible privilege of directing this beautiful show you're about to see. Tonight's presentation has a runtime of approximately 60 minutes with no intermission. At this time, please turn off your cell phones and remember that pictures or videos during the show without prior authorization is prohibited. Please note this presentation is not a full production. It is a staged reading, which means actors will have their scripts in their hands and often be at music stands. However, there are some elements of costumes, sound, and lights. This is part of the developmental process for Tyler to learn about their play, so please, if something is funny, laugh. If it's sad, cry. If you're confused, make a confused face. The more engaged you are with the story, the more you help Tyler on their journey as a playwright. So now, please sit back, relax, and enjoy Felipillo.
Why, it's an outrage. The government's actions are absolutely unforgivable. They've elected a fraud, a scam, a fake, un Felipillo.
¿Y por qué dices que esta persona es un Felipillo?
He only protects his own interests, not those of the people. He's working with other governments, with Chile. He's a double agent. He's betraying us all.
Para los jóvenes viendo esto ahora, ¿quién era el personaje Felipillo?
It's just a story. The interpreter, Felipillo, betrayed Peru. He mistranslated both the Spaniards and the Incas on purpose because he was playing both sides. A fool who protected his own political interests, just like this newcomer.
Así es, Felipillo, traidor y traductor.
Well, that's not what happened at all.
No, absolutely not. Of course, Felipillo was a traitor to the Spaniards, not the Incas.
That's preposterous. As an Inca peasant, he betrayed his emperor to serve the Spanish.
You have the least to say in all this, woman. Your manuscript came 70 years after the conquest. Mine came only 30 years after.
Both is ridiculous. Where are your sources? You don't even cite them.
Oh, I guess my lack of sources wasn't a problem when you plagiarized from me.
Gentlemen, please. We're supposed to be having a nuanced historical discussion.
We can have a nuanced historical discussion when Waman Poma admits he let someone else use his name to publish a completely false book about what happened in Peru.
You were in on that, you fool!
We should consult the facts from the beginning. Before the discovery of Peru, the dazzling conquest of Mexico invigorated Spanish explorers, and one man's spirit triumphed on the journey.
Wait. Don't listen to them. Does anyone remember that Felipillo isn't even my real name? Is that anywhere? No one bothered to write that down? Of course not. Felipillo was my Christian name. That's all that mattered, so this is what's left of me?
Representing the good country of Spain, the motherland, El Conquistador Don Francisco Pizarro.
Did anything survive beyond them?
Francisco Pizarro was commissioned by King Philip of Spain to conquer Peru, the great kingdom of the Incas, with his loyal soldiers.
And to bring with him the gospel of the Lord.
Pizarro had several interpreters. Felipillo was the last one to join their team.
And at the time, the native was 25 years old.
Incorrect, he was 20.
The boy was barely 16.
Pizarro baptized him as Felipe after the King of Spain.
A baptism is when they pour some water on you, call you something foreign, and if they keep calling you that, and if you don't respond, they hit you.
Here, I was right. Felipillo gave false testimony during the trial, deciding the fate of Atawalpa, the last Inca emperor. From then on, forever known as a traitor.
This is your own manuscript. Incredible garbage.
But that can't be right. I didn't testify against my own emperor. They killed him in cold blood. I was only doing my job to...
Felipillo,
You wake them.
Sorry.
Hey, call me Sancta. I'm sure you've heard them. Sancta de Sancta that. But my mother named me Miñaya.
Miñaya? What does it mean?
Ah, I don't know how to say in your language.
My language? But I'm from here. I'm from the Empire. So are you, right?
Yes, but you are from a village. I was a noble. I lived in the palace.
They speak different in the palace? Like a whole different language?
Villagers like you speak Quechua. Us nobles speak Burkina.
Shouldn't the people in charge of us know how to communicate with us?
That's what I thought too. So, I learned Quechua. Now I can talk to you.
How could they keep you all this time, all the way out here, outside the palace? Isn't your family expecting you?
Is it yours? Sometimes it's better to stay quiet than to die.
You don't miss the life of a noble?
I guess it could get boring. Besides, these men, wouldn't you think they'd have the makings of gods? When my village first encountered Pizarro, the elders told us Viracocha had come back from the depths. That old creator god who...
Dissolved into sea foam.
Exactly. And here come these pale-faced men from the ocean with the thunder of those things. The makings of gods. Or that's what I thought, anyways.
They look like men to me.
They smell like men too.
So, have you heard what they want?
Ah, don't look so scared. I think they just want another translator.
Oh, good, okay. I guess I'll learn their language.
I think you should learn Burkina too, in case they make you translate any nobles.
Could you teach me, or is that like sacred knowledge?
I don't mind. Of course.
Onward to Panama!
Panama?
Yes, finally! You'll never see fruit so sweet or see people so scantily clad.
All that wool I spun for our travels, useless.
Cities, trade routes, animals never seen before, and gold. So much gold you wouldn't believe. Gold doubloons, golden teeth, just layers and layers of...
Don Francisco, sir, I think we have a problem.
What?
Well, the conquistadors that were here before you...
Who? I'll cut the heads off those barbarians, stick them on poles, and set them on fire!
Well, they just...
Out with it, Friar! You know I can't read, I'm too manly for that.
They say if Pizarro wants to continue to pillage Panama, he needs to come back with a warrant to pillage. King Philip needs to sign off.
King Philip. Good old Phil. Yes, well, tell him I'm busy.
You want me to tell the King of Spain that you're busy?
Listen here, you effeminate scribe. I'll pillage whatever I want to pillage, and you can't stop
It's not me, it's the King of Spain.
Don Francisco, my lord, why don't we see this corner of your homeland as an opportunity? We could take a few things back, meet the king, maybe. He'll even set the new guys straight too. It worked wonders for me personally.
You have a point. Felipillo.
Don Francisco took a liking to Felipillo because he was funny, because he won the whims of those he translated, and because he was hand and foot in service of his master.
Stop citing yourself as a source!
Felipillo, I have taken a liking to you because you are funny, and you win the whims of those you translate, and because you are hand and foot in service of me. So, I have decided to bring you along on our voyage to España.
Oh, wow, okay. Will we ever come back?
Don't worry, you'll have enough time to learn Spanish on the way there. 6 months of hardtack biscuits and smallpox exposure, and you'll be good to go.
I can teach him Spanish, senor.
Yes, yes, I'm sure you'll survive the journey. Vámonos, muchachos, to the ship!
Amen.
Oye, Felipillo, ¿hablas español?
Poquito?
Felipillo, el piloncillo.
What's up with them?
Don't worry about it.
They called you a name, not a very nice one.
Oh.
It was funny though.
Leave him alone, idiot.
Hey, damn! I hate to get all emotional about it. Women, am I right? Come on, you could do better than him, old Valiant, noble woman. Engaged before. You should hold yourself to a better standard. Let's keep the bokina between us. Instead of being on the tongue of the peasants.
If you don't back off, I will spit in your face and get us both thrown overboard.
Hey, let's...
Martinio, come and translate this.
Two native youths of unfortunately inferior mental status.
Some speak of a rivalry. It would make sense. There's a clear social difference between them. Felipillo, from a family of Quechua-speaking fishermen, simple, and Martinillo, an aristocrat, the nephew of a nobleman who spoke Bokina fluently.
Pizarro himself describes Martinillo as loyal, intelligent, spent his teenage years in Spain learning the language, then adopted Pizarro's surname. Francisco called him godson.
The closer you are to us, the closer you are to glory. Congratulations, boy. You are no longer a savage.
Yeah, concha my pale-faced God. Left it all behind to become as great as you.
We'll get you married to a nice Spanish lady. Your kids won't even remember that crude and ancient way of life.
Good.
I have a feeling Martin wasn't as perfect as he made him out to be. Both Martin and Felipillo delivered contradictory messages to the same people wanting to favor their respective lords.
Well, if anything, that just proves how irresponsible and traitorous Felipillo himself was. I mean, a translator with a reputation for being wrong.
For the love of God, will anyone hear me out? Okay, yeah, I will admit, I mistranslated some things on purpose later. I will admit that, but I saw things in Spain, things I can't forgive.
My liege, I have returned from my voyage to the Indies bearing gifts. I've brought silver, ceramics, textiles, and, get this, the wool of an exotic, long-necked sheep called an alpaca.
And what about the gold you spoke of in your letters? Have you brought it before us today?
I'll get back to you on that. We just have to check in the back.
Thank you, Francisco. I will inspect your gifts shortly. Let's talk about this Peru you've discovered. Tell me, do the natives have religion?
Yes, your majesty. They are pagans and devil sorcerers. Their practices involve worshiping animals, mummies, or ancestors, as they call it, and the earth itself, whom they believe is a living being. They go on about conserving nature and the sacredness of water, which all humans need for life. They really did not like it when we poisoned their rivers and streams with mercury from the mines we dug in their villages. Anyways, yes, that's what I've observed.
So they do not know Jesus?
No, they do not.
Then bring the word of the Lord to them.
And if they don't obey?
Then you may use force in the name of the Lord to bring them salvation. Develop a code word to use with your friar. If at any point when trying to introduce them to the Bible, you feel the natives are becoming hostile, the word signals your soldiers to attack.
Santiago. I will invoke the patron Saint James, so any smiting we do will be absolved in his name.
You may do whatever is necessary. The Lord is pleased when good men fight for him.
They will see the kingdom of heaven whether they want to or not.
Oh, and you will need a new warrant to go any further south. Otherwise, your pillaging of towns, burning of ruins, destruction of relics, conversion of natives, etc. would be completely immoral.
Yeah, well, thank God for warrants, right?
By the power of this decree, the capitulation of Toledo, Captain Pizarro is granted the privilege to continue his conquest of the Incas. He will also be appointed the governor of the newly discovered Peru once the old king is taken out of office.
Wait, what?
What?
If you agree to these terms, you must sign here.
You are dismissed. Go forth and spread the word of the Lord.
Before we depart, Your Majesty, I forgot to mention, this girl is also a gift to you.
Excellent. She is very pretty. I'm sure she will serve our kingdom well.
You beast, unhand me!
Wait, no.
Let's go.
Don Francisco, you can't do this. Let her go. Take me in her place.
Listen to me. I've been to Spain before. You better shut up now if you know what's good for you. They have death machines here that cut off your head.
Whoa, what's this? The handwritten testimony of Friar Vincente Valverde himself. I thought this was lost to time. I can't believe I somehow have my hands on a primary source document like this. Just imagine all the things I can do now. I have the final resource needed to complete my own manuscript. After all my years of academic study, I could finally be a published author. This is just what I need. This is just useless. Francisco's hunger for gold is insatiable. No matter how much he eats, he craves it every morning and night, becoming a real problem. Boring. Went to Spain, traded an Inca girl. Felipillo was upset, blah, 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 boring. Boring, useless friar. Oh, my God. You know what? I'll just keep that to myself. No one has to know about it. I'll take care of it. Yes.
What is all this?
Leave me alone.
You're making a ritual offering.
What are you? Pagan? I'm going to bury it.
Those are her things.
What's left of them? Yes.
All this time, you've been keeping those. It's been 3 years.
I was waiting till we got back to Peru. So we're here now, so I'm giving her a proper burial.
She isn't dead.
You don't know that.
Filipino. It could be so much worse. We've seen them blow people's brains out with their muskets.
And they traded her away like stolen goods. And you're pretending like it didn't happen. What? Are you going to say she deserved it next?
Mourning a woman you never even married. A noble woman at that. Get it out of your head, peasant boy. She would never loved you anyway.
What in God's name are you two doing?
What happened? Someone get into a fight about gold? All right, hand it over.
Who started it?
What do you have to say for yourself?
Nothing. I'm sorry, Martin.
Just to be clear, no one had any gold?
Well, obviously, Felipillo betrayed his master Pizarro by being so deceptive with his translations. He was an evil man with his own agenda.
Your judgments are always so cruel, Gomera. This is a boy we're talking about. He didn't even know the language. That's not his fault. What makes him a traitor is what he did to the emperor. I agree. He betrays his emperor by selling out his own king. You know, giving that his testimony led to his execution and all. But if you think about it, by working with the Spaniards in the first place...
Like I had a choice.
I heard his motivation was a woman. Felipillo wanted her to himself, but she was the emperor's concubine, so he lied out of jealousy and rejoiced at the execution.
Well, hold on. Now, wait a second. I didn't...
Well, then perhaps it's safe to assume that he is a traitor to both the Inca and the Spanish. A failure in every sense of the word. Now, would anyone care for some chichana and a bath? I heard there was hot springs in the next scene. Figure we should take advantage before anyone else gets there.
You Peruvian plebeians with your fancy drinks and hygienic methods of relaxation.
I think I will refrain for now. I have a romantic poem about how the Incas were a perfect society with flawless subjects and absolutely zero child sacrifice rituals. Due very soon.
Now that you mention it, I have to report to the priest who publishes my works, which will play a great role in exterminating the spiritual practices of my people as well.
All right. Godspeed, I say to you all, move out!
Well, listen, please. If there's one thing you should know about me, it's not that I was a traitor. Is that really all that's left? Is that the only reason why you're here? To hear who I betrayed, who I cheated or lied to hear the story that gave me my reputation? That gossip? No, there has to be something more. My father was a fisherman. My mother wove blankets. We lived with cousins. I took care of my brother. I apprenticed with the rope maker in our village. I was 16 when they captured me. I didn't know where I was going. I assumed that they were friendly strangers. They showed me their captain. He was dressed in silver and they spoke a language I never heard, and I thought I'd bring home a good story in time for dinner, but I never saw my family again. So, please, tell me that I left something behind other than my mistakes.
I love my first-hand source. I love it. I collected a few when I was studying from the library in Rome. They were so precious to me, but this one has to be my favorite. It's got the day, month, and year written at the top of every single entry. It's such a breeze. November 15th, 1532. Pizarro sent some men with Felipillo to invite the Inca emperor for dinner that night, but the Inca postponed their appointment to the next day. Now, why would he do that?
All the things we've saved from our last trip to Spain, I'm glad this bottle has survived. It's the key to everything.
What do you mean?
Hear me out. We approach the emperor with an invitation to dinner. Felipillo chats him up, earns his trust, you know. So the emperor agrees and dines with us that night. We offer him some of our captain's wine, only the finest, for the Inca, of course. Bold, full-bodied, fruity, vino del Capitan. Not for our own consumption, of course. And that's how we did it.
I see.
You know, I thought it'd be different here.
What do you mean?
When he brought me onto the team, Pizarro told me I had great potential, that I could make a true name for myself as a soldier. He told me he'd already found a fortune here, and he just needed people to step up and sign on. I had no idea it'd be like this.
What? It's not exciting enough for you.
I'm scared of him.
Welcome to the club.
He doesn't take me seriously. And I thought we'd be doing something good.
Look, I don't think I'm the right person to be having this conversation with, because I didn't choose to be here.
Yeah. I can't imagine what it's like to have someone underestimate you and ruin your life's potential by making you serve them forever.
Yeah, imagine that. You're no worse than a slave.
For what it's worth, I'm sorry.
I think you should think about that, about what you're doing for the world.
Felipillo,
What?
how do you want to be remembered?
Like a good man? Like a man who tried his best?
Felipillo de Chavez, come here. I have a task for the both of you.
Who goes there?
Are you the Emperor? Atawalpa, you punky?
You are correct. Who are you and why have you come?
My name is Felipillo. I'm a translator for these men who've come from very far away and they have an invitation from our captain. We would be honored to have you for dinner at his place just a town away.
What does he want from me?
Why are we inviting you over?
Tell him Pizarro wants to talk to him about his country and his people.
Our captain would like to talk to you about your country and your people.
You can ask anyone about that. I'll send one of my generals instead.
Well, no. They would like to talk to you specifically.
Why?
Well, because you are the emperor of this great empire, so of course you would know best about it. They would like your first-hand perspective about the land and the people in it, and they've come from very far away to speak with you. Sir.
There's something you're not telling me. Out with it.
Okay. Well, respectfully, if it were me, I would advise against accepting their invitation.
What? Do you not want me to speak with them?
Your Majesty, if I'm being honest, I don't think these men have good intentions with you, sir. They have weapons, they are violent, and I've seen them in other territories, and I've heard what they're planning to do to you.
What is he saying?
I'm trying to get him to come to dinner with us. Give me a moment. He's hard to convince.
Who are you, boy?
They call me Felipillo.
But what did your mother name you? Well, your Pokina is awful. You're certainly not a noble. Where are you from?
I'm from Tumbes, my lord.
That's in the north. That is my territory. These foreign men, they took you and made you their servant?
Yes, sir.
You are my subject. I feel bad about that. How did you learn to speak their language so quickly?
They took me to their country for a while there. I was forced to learn.
I am sorry.
Oye.
These men have bad intentions. Make up an excuse so they leave.
The Emperor cannot come with us tonight because he's fasting. I suggest you gather an army. They're planning to attack and overthrow you tomorrow.
Thank you. It will be done by tomorrow.
You'll be available for dinner with us tomorrow night.
Felipillo, the sun's about to set. Dinner is upon us. Where is the emperor?
I don't know, sir. All he told me was that he was fasting and that he couldn't do it then, but he should be coming this evening like he told me.
He said nothing more?
Nothing more, my lord.
Never mind then. Martinillo, you go out to the Inca this time and say that we are eagerly awaiting his presence and won't eat until he arrives.
Yes, sir.
I fear the emperor may have gotten word about this plan somehow. Someone here must have a loose tongue. Perhaps he's gathering an army as we speak.
That's crazy! I'm sure we're fine.
Do you think the Incas have somehow picked up Spanish? I'm wondering if someone's leaking such confidential information just from being around our soldiers.
I'm sure you're overthinking it, Don Francisco. You know, do the Incas even have an army? I've never seen it. Hey, look, it's Martinio!
The Emperor has been enclosed in his private chambers all day and night. They will not let me see. But I spoke to a few of his servants and generals. They said they can host us in the Cajamarca town square tomorrow morning, and then we can see him.
Then we depart at dawn. Good morning, Sir Inca. Nice plaza.
Francisco Pizarro. Tell me, why do you wish to see me so urgently?
He wants to know what's so urgent.
I have come from very far away, across many oceans, to discover this territory. First, I wanted to introduce you to my country's religion.
He has come from the ocean and wanted to introduce you to his land gods.
Good morning, Sir Inca. I am a priest of God. I teach Christians the word of the Lord, and I also come to teach you. As the ruler of an empire, you and all your people should obey the Trinity of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and the Pope, and the Holy Roman Emperor Charles, of course, you know him. You should reject the practice of idol worship to receive the sacraments instead. And after you submit to this truest, most holiest faith, either by choice or by force, then you will understand how amazing and holy this law is, as opposed to your false religion, which was invented by the devil. Tell him.
How am I supposed to say all that? There are literally no words in the Quechua language for anything he just said. God, Christian, devil, Pope, face sacraments?
Speak, boy.
This man is a priest. He is the son of the sun, like you. And there are also 5 lords that you need to obey and worship now. God is a father, and he's also like the sun. Like the sun god in T. They say God is one person, but also 3, which makes 4. They also want you to answer to the Holy Roman Emperor Charles, who they say descends from the sun god, and if you don't obey, they'll force you.
Answer to another emperor. They want me to pay tribute and be a subject. I don't understand why I need to pay tribute to any other monarch. I don't owe this Charles anything. I've never set foot in any region he owns. I've never even seen them. If anything, I should pay tribute to the god you created everyone. The man you said was the father of all men.
What does he say?
He doesn't understand.
Hold on, you need to give the word for word.
Silence, Martinillo.
Sir, I am well aware of the weaknesses of your interpreters. I humbly request that you give me the opportunity to speak with someone wiser.
He does not want to pay tribute to the Emperor Charles in Spain.
You just left out the whole part about
Step aside, I'll take care of it. What I teach is the word of God, which is written in this book. Comprende?
Felipillo, translate his nonsense.
How do I explain what a book is to someone who's never laid eyes on the alphabet? God spoke. The words of God are compiled and transcribed in a sort of painting. Contained here is a voice. The voice of God is in that painting.
You horrible brutes. A talking painting! I believed you for a moment, but you only seek to mock me. You make the Emperor look a fool. Shame on you!
Wait, no, that's not
He
what I
throws the gospel to the dirt! You soldiers, what are you waiting for? Attack at once so that I may absolve you! Santiago!
What? No. No, please! Please! No! No!
Can I confess something to you all? Over time, the rare primary sources we had were lost, stolen, damaged, otherwise rendered useless, which left us with half-written manuscripts and verbal stories. So, I think my companions and I may have corrected a few points, or interpreted events differently. As historians, we must reckon with bias as we are left to pick up the pieces.
I've never met a woman so beautiful. Your smile shines like the sun. Your eyes sparkle like precious gems.
You're very flattering.
This is very dangerous.
I don't even know how I could got into the palace in the first place, or have the means, time, freedom to wander from my master's campgrounds to sleep with an Inca princess.
On second thought, that does make sense. I have guards attending me everywhere because I am one of Atawalpa's wives. It doesn't make sense that you could have access to me at all.
That's very curious now, isn't it?
You dog! Here you are sleeping with one of my wives? It seems that I am a prisoner, but if I was not, I would punish you to the full extent of the law. I will have your head for this.
Wait, if you're a prisoner, how could you have found us? Aren't they keeping you locked up in a room and under constant supervision?
I do not know.
No, just stop. There is no way this happened. Absolutely none. What is your source?
Here. He was caught making love to one of Atawalpa's wives, and only his value as an interpreter saved him from instant death for this act.
That is preposterous. Be serious, Coleman.
Well, there may be some truth to it, I'm not sure. One of my sources tells of rumors of Felipillo's affair with one of Atawalpa's concubines, but nothing more. They even asked Atawalpa himself if it was true.
No, Captain. The rook.
Sir Inca, I request your audience.
Your Majesty, Captain Pizarro would like to speak with you.
Yes, what is it?
There are rumors going around that someone has been sleeping with one of your wives.
Did you see someone sleeping with one of your wives?
What? I have not heard about this. No, who is it? Where is he? It seems that I am a prisoner, but if I wasn't, I would have the scoundrel put to death immediately. There is no justice for traitors like those who take other men's wives.
He says no.
I've also heard rumors of some secret army coming here to free you. Do you know anything about that?
He's asking if you plan on killing us all tonight.
What? How could I possibly do that? No.
I think Felipillo made up that rumor.
Your manuscript says that Felipillo was a large supporter of executing Atawalpa? For he was in love with one of Atawalpa's concubines and wanted her to himself? But how could such a lowly translator slave ever have access to an Inca princess?
Well, obviously Garcilaso made it up.
No, as a matter of fact, I did not. Several other sources refer to a relationship between Felipillo and a noble from the palace.
I see. Well, then there is nothing more to report. Good day, Sir Inca.
We are leaving now.
Wait. I can pay ransom. I know that you people eat gold. You're obsessed with it. It's as precious to you as fresh water is to us. We have temples, rooms full of gold as far as the eye can see, hidden all around the empire. If you set me free, it's all yours.
He's offering us gold!
Where is it?
Give us the location of this gold, then we will set you free.
Here, I found it. Felipillo was in love with a Kuzirimai Okyo, an Inca princess and concubine. Wait. I have another source that says her name was Sancta. Anyways, he was in love with a girl. That is why he testified against Atawalpa.
She never told me who she was.
One of the captains taught me to read and write. I'm not perfect, but I know the alphabet well, the sounds every letter makes. So, I sounded out some words and made a list of basic Bukina terms with Quechua equivalents. It's for you so you can learn better.
Wow, thank you. This is amazing. Only one thing.
Yes?
I can't read.
Oh my goodness. It completely slipped my mind. How stupid of me.
No, it's okay. We have 3 months until we land in Spain, so you could teach me if you want.
Of course. Let me write the alphabet on the next page.
You said you were from the palace?
Yes, I was.
What did you do there?
Well, it's not important now, is it?
But you've seen the emperor. Like, you've met him and spoken to him?
Perhaps.
Wow, so you're a princess? Is he, handsomer than me?
Who?
The Emperor. I'm only asking.
He is the Emperor. He is not a love interest.
Interesting information. Does no one miss you? If you're from the palace, no one objected to your disappearance? How did they even take you from there?
They didn't. They took me from a supply ship. I was making a voyage to the island of Puna to visit some villagers there and check on their well-being. The Emperor makes us do this routinely. He sends nobles around the empire to collect tribute from the villages with excess from their harvest. We use the tribute to supply other villages who are suffering from famine or drought.
They just raided your ship? What about the others there? Couldn't someone alert or get back to the Emperor?
Most of the others jumped overboard when they saw the men attacking, thinking they could swim to shore or float away. I couldn't bring myself to do such a thing. I saw the blood in the water. It was like ink. Spreading.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. At least they spared me. I'm safe now, aren't I? Hold on. I know this couldn't have gone differently. I know this is all I am now. Another missing woman. But if this is the last thing I get to do, then that's for my sisters. They were children, and you commanded your men to. You disgust me, you shameful, sinful, evil man. Your brothers didn't leave a single palace girl untouched. Cura Occhio, violated by Gonzalo Pizarro. That was for her and all of them. As long as you know that, I can rest.
Felipillo, since you did such an awful job translating for the Friar last time, Martinia will translate the Friar for this legal battle, and you will translate for me.
The accused stands before us today to make his case before a court of his peers, so that he may have a fair and orderly trial before a decision is reached. On behalf of the Council of the Indies, and as an eyewitness of the Lord, I will stand as judge.
You are being held in contempt, Sir Atawalpa. The Friar and the Captain will judge you in your actions to see if they should set you free or not.
The prosecution seeks to interrogate you, sir. For my first witness, I call Friar Vincente Valverde to the stand. My dear Friar, could you give us the definition of idolatry?
Idolatry is idol worship, Captain. It is the worship of false gods, such as statues, inanimate objects, nature, animals, and the devil. It is a sin.
And you can attest to the Inca being an idol worshiper, can you not?
Yes. You and I both know that the natives worship the sun, whom they call father, and the earth, whom they call mother, and the mountains and rivers as well. It is a sinful, evil practice rooted in devil worship.
Therefore, the charge of idolatry shall be applied to the Inca Atawalpa's sentence. Thank you, Friar. Now I call Captain Francisco de Chaves el Pizarrista to the stand. De Chaves, my good man, when we were sent to conquer this land, the council and the king made it clear that we were to collect a sum of gold from the most recent ruler, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
and the emperor has refused to pay it. He is still indebted to the rightful rulers of this land.
Well, he did offer us a room full of gold and silver in exchange for his freedom while we were holding him prisoner. Remember? Where did all that go?
Never mind that. The Inca has squandered the tribute which rightfully belongs to the king and the council of the Indies, distributed amongst his minions and his generals. The charge of tax evasion shall be applied to his sentence. Next, I call the emperor himself, Atawalpa, to the stand. Sir Inca, I have heard many stories and rumors about you, and I am wondering if any of them are true. Tell me, are you a legitimate heir to the Inca throne?
They're asking if you are a usurper.
What?
Did you steal the throne from someone else, or did you inherit it?
I stole nothing. I should throw you in jail for questioning my authority.
What does he say?
He said no.
So he is not a legitimate heir. There you have it. The emperor has admitted to crime.
No, he says no, he did not usurp the throne.
He denies it now, but we all have proof. I call to the stand 11 more Spaniards.
Hold on, wait. There is literally no other record of nobles. Nobody gives any names or eyewitnesses. Besides in your own manuscript. Garcilaso, you made that up.
I thought it would make more sense if there were other witnesses.
You can't just make up witnesses.
But how could they have prosecuted Atawalpa without witnesses attesting to his crimes? They couldn't have had a trial without them, could they?
Can't you see? They didn't have a trial at all.
What? That's preposterous. Of course they did.
Garcilaso, who is your source? Where did you read that?
I got it all from Gomara.
Well, I got it from Oviedo. He was there when it happened and wrote it all down. Listen, from the scribe Fernandez de Oviedo. They began to forge a process badly composed and worse written. Its chief authors, an impersonating, uncontrolled, dishonest priest, an immoral, incompetent scribe, and others of the same mark.
Why didn't you include the part about the impersonating, uncontrolled, dishonest priest and immoral, incompetent scribe?
It would make them look bad.
So you decide to lie and make up this whole trial, even though your primary source, who was actually there, explicitly stated it was fictional?
Well, what was I going to do? Spread the word that the Spaniards just murdered and stole from an indigenous ruler who did nothing wrong?
Yes!
But that would make all of us look bad!
You don't think Felipillo looks bad? Everyone on earth believes Felipillo betrayed Atawalpa during those trials, that he spoke about Atawalpa's evil to the point where they executed him for it. You used a poor native servant boy as a scapegoat for Spain's crimes against humanity.
I mean, I'm disappointed but not surprised.
Come on! People love a good legal trial! And don't act like you didn't play into the whole trial thing in your manuscript either. You're the one who wrote in 11 extra Spaniards testifying in favor of Atawalpa.
I just wanted to show that the Incas had a fair government and their leader was just and kind-hearted, unlike some leaders who randomly execute people just because they feel like it.
All right! Settle down. Where does this leave Felipillo? That poor boy. I can't imagine being a servant dying at the hands of my captors, who then go on to portray you as the most villainous traitor ever lived. They drew up a list of 12 crimes the Inca was accused for and tried.
Dearest King Charles, we just executed the Inca Emperor, and it was definitely for a good reason, too. You see, he was an idol worshiper, and a polygamist, and a liar. A cheater, just a terrible king.
I heard somewhere the Incas are all cannibals. Put that in.
And he probably wasn't even the real heir to the throne.
So you see, Charlie boy, it just had to be done. We just had to, the guy, you know? No peaceful agreements could have been made. No, it was impossible. What an awful fate for such a beautiful, gold-ridden country. I guess someone's gonna have to step up and lead the people.
All those charges, court proceedings, supposed testimonies, even a lawyer they brought in to represent the Inca. All fake.
On the counts of idolatry, mutiny, usurping the throne, waging unjust wars, 2 counts of murder, adultery, polygamy, incest, cannibalism, tax evasion, and resisting arrest, the prosecution finds the Inca Emperor Atawalpa guilty. The penalty for these heinous crimes will be death.
You have been found guilty, sir. They're going to execute you.
What have I or my children done to you? To meet such a fate, you've been met with kindness from my people. You've received nothing but gifts from my hands.
He's begging for his life. He's asking why.
Arrest him.
Please. Please. No. No. Please! Please!
I found something! Well, I didn't find it. It was buried in Rome for 400 years. Some future historian found it in 1999. Cajamarca, August the 5th, 1552.
To His Majesty King Charles V of Spain. There are many tales of the capture of Atawalpa, but I need to write it exactly as it happened. The crown deserves only the truth.
You soldiers! What are you waiting for? Attack at once so that I may absolve you! Santiago!
The great battle of Cajamarca,
There was no battle.
we all left Panama on the same ship on December 27, 1530 to conquer Peru. Pizarro and his friars talked a lot. He told them that the natives delighted in wine, and thanks to that, he made many friends. I saw, in a corner of the ship, 4 bottles of wine labeled Captain's wine. I heard rumors they were poisoned, intentionally mixed with arsenic. In Cajamarca, before the emperor, by order of Francisco Pizarro, the interpreter Felipillo served Atawalpa 2 glasses.
Remember, give the emperor the goblet in your left hand. The guard will take the goblet from your right hand. We cannot, under any circumstances, harm the emperor.
In that moment, Pizarro put all his hope on him. Some Inca officers fell dead. Others struggled between suffering and pain. Let your majesty know that the natives did not understand what was happening to the generals, and they still do not know it.
What is this? What have we done to offend the gods? Why are they punishing us?
One surprise attack by poisoning killed 3,000 men. But deception is a dishonor. The captain preferred fraud over a fair fight. Knowing there will be no investigation, Pizarro and the rest do whatever they want. They were not content with all their gold and precious objects, having killed thousands of men in the name of your majesty and our Lord. We did horrifying things that I cannot say here. It would so offend your majesty. I am sure that they will write lies. They're already spreading false rumors. I will do everything possible so that this letter reaches your hands, despite his threats to punish us if we reported the poison or any other crimes. They've taken to hate me. I fear they will kill me. The captain, once my friend, now thinks of me as a traitor. He killed one of the Yepes for breaking the oath. If I end up dead, suspect everyone. That's all I can tell you so far, your majesty. I trust that you will punish those who commit atrocities. Your humble servant,
Francisco de Chavez.
This evidence, this is new.
I don't know where this leaves us. Well, one could
argue that the letter is a fake. After all, there are no records of any Francisco de Chaves in any of the first-hand accounts of the conquistadors I've read.
Can't you see they scrubbed him from the face of the earth? By simply ignoring his presence, they wrote him out of existence. They hated him by the end of it. Of course they wouldn't dedicate so much as a sentence to him.
They took my name too.
Boy Garcilaso. It all comes back to the boy.
Was he a traitor?
Well, it depends. The paths of Felipe and Martin diverged from here after the death of Atawalpa.
We had the privilege of dressing like the Spaniards and riding horses, which set us apart from other natives, but they never considered us equal, and neither did the natives. But both sides mistrusted us, but at the same time considered us essential. Kept between worlds with neither community to call ours until they chose him.
Martinillo rose in status, served the Pizarros through thick and thin. He married a Spanish woman, obtained a property, made a name for himself as Don Martin. Felipillo would never inherit a title.
He went on to translate for other conquistadors on his expedition to Chile. There, Felipillo betrayed him.
Whatever you do not trust them. They will lie to you. They only want your gold. They're dangerous. They murdered my king and took everything from him. I saw it with my own eyes. I've stolen one of their maps. This is where the general's going next, and this is where we'll meet him. Their advantage lies in their horses, so once we get those out of the way, we can get them alone, and that's when we strike.
But the general found out, and Felipillo was sentenced to death.
He ordered that Felipillo be hung and quartered, his parts exhibited along the roads that brought him to Chile, an exemplary punishment in the eyes of the Spaniards.
In fact, the translator confessed at the time of his death to having falsely testified against the emperor and sleeping with one of his wives.
But they tortured him. If it were you, wouldn't you confess? Just to make it stop.
Who are you, boy?
They call me Felipillo.
But what did your mother name?
The makings of gods.
Or that's what I thought, anyways.
Oye, Felipillo. ¿Hablas español?
Viracocha, my pale-faced god.
No one has to know about this.
They have death machines here that cut off your head.
I was a nobleman.
I am sorry.
So, this is what's left of me? I didn't want you to see this one, Yaya. Anybody but you. I want you to rest. When it's all over, I'll come and get you. We'll become footnotes together.